All right, Alec, you ready to do this? Ready. All right, so one of the things I feel like is neglected a little bit, one of the pieces of apparatus that we use in the gymnastics world all the time, parallel bars, all right? And we see people kind of skipping the opportunity to work on static apparatus and jumping right to things like rings, something dynamic. It's a little bit harder to control. If you can't do it on something static, you can't expect to do it on something dynamic, right? So what we want to do is just have people appreciate the opportunity you can get from P-bars to not only become better on something here, but eventually have it translate to something you're going to be using more often, things like muscle ups and ring dips and things like that. So static apparatus is a good place to kind of start with positional work. So we're going to just show you a couple of things. I know you come from gymnastics world, so you're very familiar with this stuff. People watching this video are going to be like, well, you're teaching someone that's been doing this his whole life, so it's not going to be any kind of amazing transformations or anything, but at least I want you to kind of show our audience kind of what you're capable of doing in some of these positions. So first one is just going to be building towards an L-sit, all right, and understanding kind of what the position should look like. All right, so if we get into the P-bars, one thing to be thinking about is kind of the width. You always want to be kind of measuring from the elbow to fingertip. These P-bars specifically kind of adjust. We'll kind of leave them where they're at right now just for simplicity purposes, but always try to measure elbow to fingertip when you're getting on top of the bars. Also, elbows you want to be locked out. You want to be thinking about shoulders staying on top of that hand as best as possible. And one of the things that people have most trouble with is internally rotating of those shoulders, and they end up getting into kind of a hunchback position. So when you're on the bars and you're in that support, I want you to be feeling like you're rotating from the shoulder all the way through the arm. The hand will obviously stay fixed, but the pit of the elbow is going to be facing in the same direction as your eye line, all right? So that'll help pull your shoulders back into place, all right? So essentially, even when you're just doing support position, you want to be pulling those shoulders back into place, that pit of the elbow facing forward, all right? So let's just try that first. Let's see if you can do just a 5-second hold in that support position. Good, excellent. And down. All right, like I said, you're making all this stuff, you're gonna make it look super easy, you're gonna make everybody feel bad at home for how good you are with this stuff. But from head down to toe, one complete line. That's exactly what we want. We stress the idea of hollow position, right? Mm-hmm. Use hollow in a lot of stuff you've done before. You know the opposition, the arch. What most people do when learning the hollow, they over-exaggerate it. So we see with most people trying to do this particular position, instead of being in one straight line, they'll over-exaggerate and turn it into a pike. All right, and you think they're staying hollow, but they end up having an angle at their hips and it becomes a little bit too exaggerated. Right. So if you're looking at it from the side, I want it to be from head through the hips, through the feet, in one complete line, which is exactly what you did. All right? Okay, next position will be just a tuck position. So, like with anything, if we can shorten the lever, you're gonna make the position easier. So for people that are trying to go to L-sit that don't have the mobility or the strength to be able to do it, shorten the lever, make it a little bit easier so you can work on better position, all right? So that support stays the same. The tuck is going to be knees and feet together the entire time, and you'll bring the feet up, the knees up, trying to maintain that torso in that same initial position. So a couple of things here. One, as you're working on it, you can actually work on trying to bring the knees in as deep as possible. Okay. You can go even a little bit beyond 90 degrees. Eventually work on playing it directly to 90 degrees, because that's where else it will be. But there'll be some application towards working a little bit beyond as well. Let's do 3 seconds as high as you can, and then bring them down to 90 for 3. Eyes up, looking straight out in front, knees together. 1, 2, 3. Lowering slow. 1, 2, 3, down. Good. How'd that feel?
Hard, all the way up here.
Yeah, so good. Think about it for a second, and you're well aware of kind of the progression, right? Mm-hmm. There's an L-sit, there's a tuck, there's an L-sit, and then what's beyond an L-sit? V, okay? So from there, bring the legs up closer towards vertical is gonna be the next progression here. Mm-hmm. So if we can do from a tuck position, bring those knees deep into the tuck, the angle at your hip is going to allow for you to start working towards that higher level V. Right. All right, we're not gonna do that today, we wanna get too crazy with it. But beyond that, what's after a V?
Mana.
A mana, okay. So not too many people probably know what a mana is. No. Mana is a very special movement. There's only a handful of guys in the world that can do it correctly, but it's a beautiful skill, very, very awesome. It's the next kind of progression past the V, where you're turning your hips up over your head and your legs are now horizontal, parallel to the ground, all right? All right, so let's try full L-sit this time. We'll start from that same support position. You'll tuck the knees into that 90 degree, and then I want you to extend out. And back down, okay? Now on the L-sit, a couple things that I really want you to focus on and see if you can do it. Most people that I see working on L-sits have a tendency again to lean forward, all right? I don't want the stress to be on the front part of the shoulder. To do a good L-sit and kind of reinforce better positions, I actually want you to be counteracting that and actually leaning back a tiny bit, all right? And try to feel like you're driving your feet and your hips forward, All right, it'll help open up the position a little bit. If you're a little bit beyond 90 degrees, that's preferable over being closed in too much, all right? So torso being vertical, if you lean back a tiny bit and start feeling it in your rear delt and your tricep, it means you're in a good position, all right? So let's see if you can engage that. Again, 5 seconds, nothing crazy. Eyes directly forward, tuck up first, and extend out, lean back a little bit more, drive those hips forward. There you go, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back down. Good. So that transfer from forward to back, it changed things a little bit, right? Yeah. What did it feel like?
I felt it more back here.
That's exactly right. So that's what I want. If you're starting to feel the transfer from the front part of the shoulder to the back, that's a good indication that you're in the right spot. All right, that's what we're looking for, right? So if you're doing these tucked, if you're doing these one leg extended or full L sit, that's a good indicator that you're doing it correctly. Cool. All right? All right, now we're just making it a little bit harder, right? This is one of my go-to drills for working on L sits, all right? So if you think about L sits in the same way you're thinking about toes to bar and those kind of compression type of exercises, there's really 4 components that you're looking at in terms of can I get my body into the right place, all right? If you take the shoulder out of it, which is another component, we're gonna be focusing on the strength of your abs and your hip flexors to be able to compress, and then the flexibility of your lower back and your hamstring to allow for that compression. So some people's limiting factor is mobility, and some people's limiting factor is gonna be strength, all right? So we really wanna see kind of where we are within that starting point. So this is an L up, all right? Starting point is the same. One of the main objectives here is going to be keeping the torso vertical and also slowing things down. This is not a momentum exercise. So what we're gonna do from here is bring the legs up and then guiding it straight back to the starting point. I don't wanna see any swinging. The feet should not come past vertical at all. You should hit that starting point. You should feel like your feet are gonna hit a wall right when you line up with your shoulders, and you're bringing the legs up as high as you can. If you can only come up a little bit without compromising torso position, that's as high as you're gonna go. If you can come up past and guide back down, that's gonna be your goal, all right? Okay. As high as you can. I actually wanna see 10 reps, all right? 10 reps, nice and slow. Eyes forward. Guide it down. 1, 2. Keep pulling those shoulders back. 3, 4 on the way up, drive the hips forward. 5, there you go. 5 more. 6, 7, excellent. 3 more. 8, 9, last one. Good. And down. Not bad. How'd that feel?
Definitely different when I drove the hips forward.
Absolutely. So, did you ever do these when you were training? Like this?
Yeah, when I was younger. Yep.
All right. So probably moved away from them a little bit since you've moved into a different training world. But the benefit here is going to go transfer over to a ton of other things you're going to be doing. Not only in the L sit, but like I said, things like anything compression based. All right. Your L sits, your press to handstands. This is going to be a really great drill to be working on some of those limiting areas. All right. It's a really easy exercise. It's also easy to screw up. Yeah. I think you're doing it correctly, but using momentum. Yeah. Slower you can do this, the better. Okay. All right. Cool on that?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. We're going to move on to just some dips. All right. And I got a quick little challenge for you.
Okay.
Okay. So dip positioning is going to be critical. Again, same thing we mentioned at the start here. If we can do it on something static before we can do it on something dynamic, that's going to be a better route to take to make sure that we have our positions intact. All right. So with our dip, one of the things that we really want to avoid is dumping of the shoulders forward. All right. It's really common for me to see on static, but also on dynamic apparatus, a dip that kind of looks like this, where people just dumping the shoulders forward, looking down at the ground the whole time. All the stress is coming on the front part of the shoulder. It's not really what we're looking for with a dip. Ideally, we want to be thinking about a nice vertical torso with our dip, with the elbow tracking back behind us, all right? So again here, whenever I'm training people with dips, I want them to train their dip in the same way that we have Chad Vaughn teaching people their squats, all right? Trying to get strong, comfortable, and mobile in the bottom part of their squat. Same thing here. Can we get strong, comfortable, and mobile in the bottom part of our dip? All right, so position is going to be key. Torso is going to stay as vertical as possible. Elbows are going to be tracking back, basically riding right along our sides. Eye line directly staying forward. And I want to come down as far as I possibly can with that shoulder not internally rotating. And then coming straight back up with that dip, okay? After you've completed the rep, I don't want you to be feeling like you're trying to arch or throw the shoulders back. That's basically kind of the initiation of kind of a kipping type of an action or a momentum generator. You can slow it down, you can work on pause, we can work on tempo. It'll help you build that static strength, all right? So let's just see 3 reps with a 2-second pause at the bottom of each one. Only go down as far as you can where you can feel comfortable at that bottom position. Eye line directly forward the whole time. That good, nice support position to start. Good. 1, 2, straight back up. Elbows tracking back. 1, 2, back up. And last one. 1, 2, and up. Good. How'd that feel?
Good. Felt the difference between here and then pulling elbows back.
Right, exactly. So just the rotation of the shoulder is going to help engage that locked out elbow position. Something we stress quite a bit, that ability to rest on your skeletal structure as opposed to using your musculature to try to, get through the action.
Right.
This is going to fatigue much more quickly than that lockout. So it's always going to be kind of your reset position. All right. So we don't want to spend too much time on getting the dips. I know you've worked out already today. We're going to just throw you right into the challenge.
Okay.
The dips need to look like that.
Okay.
All right. So this is something we've had some other people try here at Power Monkey Camp in the past. And aside from the actual gymnasts that are here, I don't think any male athlete has ever completed it. So these are a little bit shorter. Normally we do these on a competitive set of parallel bars, so you have a little bit of advantage there. But it's just that man test.
Okay.
All right. You done it before?
I have.
All right.
When I was a kid.
When you were a kid?
Yeah.
All right. So you haven't done it in a while?
No.
All right. So for the audience here, everybody will be able to see you do it, no problem. Basically, it's going to be 5 dips, 5 dips. 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1.
Okay.
Walk back to where you started from and basically end.
Forwards, backwards?
Yeah, so you're going to keep your eye line same direction the entire time, right? Most people have trouble the most with the walking portion here.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because they don't lock out. Because they're basically fighting a quarter dip or like a slight elbow bend, a kink the entire time.
Right.
If you can focus on keeping locked out, that's going to be a rest position as you walk.
Okay.
All right? So let's do our best to kind of maintain that good position. 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, all the way down to 1. Come back to your starting point and jump off.
Okay.
All right? Let's move this out of the way for you.
Right into it?
Let's do it. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And back. On the 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Keep that pace. Use the walk as a rest. Eyes forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Stay with it. Stay with it. Come on. Come on. You got this. Come on. On the 3s. Eyes up. 1, 2, 3. Good. Come on now. Keep fighting. One step at a time. One step at a time. Come on now.
Oh my gosh.
Nice job, buddy.
A lot harder than I remember.
Exactly, right? This is a little bit
Yeah.
harder than you would think,
Yeah.
right? You're a little fatigued from what you did previously,
Yeah.
so I'm pretty sure you can do this if you're fresh. But again, good position on those dips is going to be critical.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of something static before you expect to be able to do it dynamic is absolutely critical. Take advantage of the P-bars, take advantage of the boxes, the parallettes, the matadors in your gym, as opposed to just jumping in the rings, all right?
Cool.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good.